Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Today I'm super uber mega excited to be sharing this list with you guys because today we're gonna be talking about the best and top lesbian Amazon Prime movies that you should go watch. But before we get into further details, please let me know your personal opinion down below in the comments as well. And if you guys have watched any of these movies, also let me know, what would you personally rate it from 1 to 10. This is kind of a list that I have picked out myself just because I feel like a lot of them are classics and a couple of them are also unknown. So I also just wanted to put the spotlight on them as well. So let's get right into this beautiful and amazing list. So first we're gonna start off with this classic one, and it's called The Affair. The story plays out over many years starting in the 1930s. The lesbian love story that unfolds is like a flower, slowly at first and beautiful at the end. Liesel falls for her friend Anna, while Victor, Liesel's husband, falls for her nanny Kata. It's a slow movie but with a great acting and a happy ending, and the movie was released in 2021, and it's super recommended because when I watched this movie I actually rewatched it a couple of times because, to be honest, it was just giving what it was 100% supposed to give. And then we're gonna move on to the second one, and this one is Nina Heavily Delights. The movie is low-key a classic lesbian movie. It was released in 2006. It follows cook Nina, who is trying to save her dad's Indian restaurant but competing in a curry competition. Along the way, she falls in love with the co-owner of the restaurant, and her name is Laura. It's a funny movie, and it actually got a very average rating if you ask me, but I can also understand because of the quality of the movie. But I still feel like the plot of the movie is actually very interesting, and also the fact that it's about cuisine and love. We all know that that is a perfect combination. And then we have to move on to the next one, and this one is also a classic one, and it's called The World to Come. One of my favorite lesbian movies, released definitely in my top 10. The movie is set somewhere along the mid 19th century American East Coast frontier. Two farmers' wives find themselves drawn to each other and ends up having actually a love affair, which is very emotional and very deep at the same time. Despite the outcome of the movie, this is a true love story that, despite the outcome, like I said, is definitely worth the watch because the connection that the two ladies had on the movie, like I said, is just everything that it was supposed to give. And then we're gonna move on to the next one, and this one is called Eddie Itea, A Very Long Engagement, 2009. This one is actually a documentary. It tells the story of a long-term lesbian couple, Eddie and Thea. The two met in 1965 and got engaged in 1967, but they didn't get married until 2007. They had to go to Canada for the ceremony. This amazing documentary was actually released in 2009, and if you haven't watched it yet, I would definitely recommend you to go watch it because this one is a true story. It's a true event, just to see how they actually stood by each other's side no matter what, and they stood together after all these years, and they actually finally got the chance and the opportunity to actually go ahead and get married. And then we're gonna move on to Through Love. The storyline centers on a mother, Alice, her daughter Susanne, and her daughter's friend too. Alice decides to visit Susanna after she lost her husband. However, Susanna doesn't have any time for her mom, so she tells her friend Through to start hanging out with her mom, and the rest is basically very self-explanatory. The movie was released in 2013, so basically it's like your mom falling in love with one of your best friends, and we all know that they can get very tricky and very complicated. So if you haven't watched this one, 100% go watch it and go support it. And then we have A Million Happy Nows. Lainey is a 49-year-old actress who decides to quit and move to the beach house with her younger girlfriend and publicist Ava. Very quickly, Lainey is diagnosed with Alzheimer's. The movie is very accurate and really showcases how this illness can not only affect the person itself, but everyone around them, and it was actually released in 2017. Yes, this one is very emotional, so get ready for it if you haven't watched it, because it's very accurate, like I said, and it really showcased that how, you know, this illness can really hurt the person that you love and also hurt yourself as well. And then we have to move on to the next one, and this one is called Snapshots. Rose is an 85-year-old woman who is visited by her daughter and granddaughter. When Rose sees the pictures of all her memories of her secret relationship with her neighbor Louise, some floating coming actually of that memories actually start to come back. The Lesbian movie is based on or basically on true events, and it's so beautiful and also super emotional. It was actually released in 2018, and to be honest, this one is one of those when you just look back to your love life and just realize how much you really cared about someone that is not there anymore. You know, it's just very interesting to see how true love actually does exist, and this one is actually based on a true story, and it's also very popular. I don't feel like it's something this movie is very new. I feel like it's very well known. If you know, and if you don't, go watch it, because I promise you, you won't regret it. And then we have to move on to the next one, and this one is called Heat Wave. The movie is about a young career-driven woman, Claire, whose life takes a turn when she falls in love with her boss wife. Claire's become tangled in a web of malice and dark motives linking to her past, and has to fight to basically to defend herself, is to save herself from everything that her lover was actually putting her through. And when she found out the true person who her lover is, things just quickly took a turn. This movie is very nice. You know, I only watched it once. I don't know if I'm actually gonna go watch it again, but it was definitely worth the watch. I feel like the connection of the two ladies was actually very good. You know, I feel like they have a very good intimate chemistry and also emotional chemistry, but apparently it was all a lie, but also not at the same time a lie. So it's a whole lot going on when it comes to their relationship and their situation in this movie. And then we have to move on to the next one, and this one is called Everything All at Once. It's not quite a true lesbian film, but it does center around a lesbian main character who is the daughter of Michelle, and you see glimpses of her gay relationship tied into the storyline. And yes, this movie does actually have a happy ending, so that's one of the reasons that I just had to go ahead and actually include it on this list. So if you haven't watched this movie, please go ahead and watch it. It's very fun, it's very different also, and the quality of the movie, to be honest, it's amazing. Like, it really has that type of quality that I like in movies. Very new, very colorful, like everything is just giving, you know. And also the relationship of the two ladies is actually also very interesting, even though we just get glimpses of it. Hey, it's better than nothing, like they say, you know. And then we have to move on to the next one, and this one is called Maya Ma. This movie is actually on my watch list. It was released in 2022. It follows Balari, a middle-aged woman, devoted housewife who is famous, yes, for her dances and cooking, threatened to disturb her middle-class family because of family issues and family situations. She actually ends up falling in love with a woman, but things are way more complicated as they seem, because at the end the two women can be together because of the circumstances of life, but they really had a deep and beautiful connection. So yes, guys, that's basically it. This is the list. Please drop down below in the comments which other movies should I go ahead and include, and if you guys would like to see a part 3 or part 2 regarding this list, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next video, and goodbye.